what kind of tax deferral options does that individual have? And I always had an issue with the 1031 because you get really put into a box. And so explain kind of what you would tell them and what you would kind of propose for a situation similar to that.
Great question. So we call the 1031 exchange the blockbuster way of doing things. It's kind of like, it's like the shotgun wedding, right? You get engaged in 45 and you get married in 180. Like, and sometimes the marriage can work out great, right? Especially if it's a value add, forced appreciation opportunity, right? Fantastic. High fives all the way around. The challenge becomes when there's low inventory, every prices are through the roof, and you know it's a seller's market, right? And all this crazy California or New York money is chasing these few deals that actually have any kind of meat on the bone, right? So the first thing is timing, right? So I just ask them, like, what is your vision for your wealth, right? And what is your vision for your time, your energy, and the timing of the marketplace? And as real estate professionals and owners ourselves, and probably a lot of your listeners, we know when it's a seller's market, we know when it's a buyer's market, right? Now, you can find a deal in every single marketplace, but I always start there. And then I also start with the personal reasons to sell and the financial reasons to sell, right? So I really dig into the motivation, understand their wealth and their vision, their plan. What's going on with a lot of our clients, and majority who call us, they're baby boomers, right? They're in their 60s, right? And they've made their wealth. They're more in a preservation mode. They want to retire from the toilet trash liability. They want to sell their business. They don't want to go through this 08 cycle again where they almost lost or half, some lost all, and they don't want to have to fight out. So we're in the position of saying we want to create a safe harbor with this deferred sales trust, right? So first, establishing what the challenges are, what their vision is, and then literally just drawing a line on a piece of paper and saying, what tool will help you get to where you want to be, right? And so then we talk about how Blockbuster, right? If you remember going on a Friday night, you want to get that movie, Charles, right? And you see it, it's behind that cardboard, right? And you're walking up, you're like, oh, excited. But then somebody 2 steps ahead of you grabs that thing. You're like, oh my gosh, like what? I missed it. So you're bummed, but you get your second movie. You have to return it within 3 days. You didn't rewind it. You get a little penalty. Well, that's like the 1031. Like that puts you in a very small hole, right? Where you have to, kind of really, really figure out a way to close that deal or do that thing. Well, there's a thing called Netflix. It's pretty seamless. It's like the deferred sales trust. There's no timing restrictions, right? There are some ongoing fees, but you can buy and sell real estate whenever you want, active or passive. You can the funds can be invested into the stock market, right? It's not just like investment like kind of real estate in that short period of time. So that's the number one thing is timing. And we just believe sell high, buy low. And the best story for that is a gentleman in Minnesota. He sold a property for $20 million in 2006. I call this the Monday morning quarterback. He sold it at the peak, and this guy's worth a couple $100 million bucks, really smart. And he's done 1031 exchanges. He thought that was the only way, blockbuster way to do things. But he's looking around going, I'm not going to overpay. I'm going to do this Netflix thing. I'm going to try this new thing out. I'll put it in the trust. So he puts it in the trust. He parks the funds in stocks, bonds, mutual funds, very conservative stuff. Not a lot of risk, but kind of just safe harbor. Okay. He waits. 5 years go by. The bank calls him and says, hey, we just foreclosed on that property. Just curious, do you want to buy it back? Well, maybe. What's the price? 60 cents on the dollar. So they sold it back to him at the 40% discount via his trust, all tax deferred. Okay. He has not paid $1 in tax. He bought that back as an active investor with a brand new depreciation schedule. And when I heard that story and understood how it worked, I said, this is the commercial real estate game changer, right?
Yeah.
We can sell high and buy low. So I'll pause there, but that's probably the way I would approach this.
You have just listened to another information-packed episode of Capital Gains Tax Solutions with Brett Swarts. We hope you enjoyed today's show and found it helpful. Visit capitalgainstaxsolutions.com to access the show notes and to access more resources. Don't forget to leave a review and join us again next time.